A 3.
A 2.
A
A
1.
1.
1.
Hey, everybody, welcome to
Read This, Read That. I am
Jackie Reed.
And you are
Joanne Reed.
What's up, cousin? Wait, let me see your shirt. Let me see. Gen X. Are you sure
you want to hear my thoughts? Because they're dangerous.
Is that a Joy Reed show shirt?
No, this is Jason. He looks online and he finds these fun shirts, and he always buys himself one, and he always gets me a bonus shirt. So this is from the bounty. This is from the Jason Reed bounty. He buys fun shirts. I have a Thug Life shirt that's got the 4 old ladies from what was the lady? It was Maud. And what were the 4 old white ladies that were best friends in the 80s?
The Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. I have a Golden Girls Thug Life shirt. I have a bunch of crazy shirts, but yeah, this is one of the shirts I got. Yeah.
Hey, Karen.
This is our generation.
I love that. Karen Stooks says we're cutting up already. We sure are. Miss MDX says good afternoon, Cuzzos. Nicole Reyes says, hey, ladies. And Sandra Barnes says, can anyone share the lyrics to the opening song, which is coming up shortly? So stay tuned because it is the first Tuesday of the month. And you know what that means? We welcome
the first of the month. It means your rent is due.
That's right. But before we get to that, we want to, handle some business and say, please hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube, if you're watching us elsewhere, subscribe or follow, leave us a comment because we absolutely adore going through your comments. So do all those things because it really does make a difference. And we have an announcement to make. It's not a building fund. It's not a building fund, but what we are doing, all we need is follows. We need follows on YouTube. We're trying to get to 100,000, the road to 100,000. Oh, I love that, Camille. This is our first time seeing this by the end of the year. So by December 31st, we're trying to get to 100K here on Read This, Read That. And we're not that far. We got a ways to go, but we can do it.
We can do it.
Right.
Yes.
We can do it.
And it's great because,
with your help. So we will ask you to please spread the word, let people know, especially our editorial board. That's come on. Y'all tell some friends, tell 20 friends, tell them. Oh, I love that. Miss MDX said, you will get there. Yes, we will.
Yes, we can.
We are trying. We're going to get there. So that's we got a campaign. So you're going to hear us talking about it a lot, just reminding you all to help us spread the word and get there.
Yes.
With that, we will say welcome to our new cousins here in the cousin community. If this is your first time leaning in and spending time with the Read This, Read That family, if this is your first time to the cousin community, we'd like to welcome you with a little song. To our podcast.
Welcome to our podcast.
We are family.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to our podcast.
We are family.
Read this, read that.
We are family, and we love you, cousins.
But we will block you
if you come with that bullshit.
So respect our boundaries.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to our podcast.
We are family.
There it is. Won't you come? Yeah. Won't you come? The doors of the family community are open.
They are.
Come on and join us.
Come on and join us. If you need a prayer request, please be sure to put your letter into the offering plate, but with something else that folds besides your letter. not just paper, but also the paper that's got a president's face on it, because this is a paying and a praying church. Thank you very much.
Who was the pastor that we talked
Block it.
about? Who was the pastor that we talked about that a woman she didn't follow directions and tried to bring money up to the stage and he fussed at her? Was it one of the Winans?
No, it wasn't a Winan. No,
I think it was.
No, let's not besmirch them. What was it, a Winan?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Was it a
Let me
Winan?
see. I'm looking at
because it was Marvin.
It was Marvin Winans?
Yeah,
girl. It was a Winans?
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. He said that ain't enough. No, I asked you for $2,500.
Mm-hmm. Yep. People are saying Marvin Winans. Yes, girl, the Winans, we love them, but they are not without fault.
Somebody tried to put Marvin Sapp in the conversation. Marvin Sapp said, it wasn't me.
He said, don't bring me into this. So welcome everybody. We have a great, do I seem darker to you guys for some reason?
You know what? And you look fuzzy. You have
like
soft,
the lighting,
you have soft lighting on. But you're in full lighting, but it's just the one side of your face has more light than the other.
All of a sudden, it's all of
a sudden. It's
the sun outside your window.
No, it's not.
Ooh. And your top is cute.
Such certainty. It's
the chat likes your top. It looks like there's sunlight coming at you from one side.
There is, but you're talking about the shading. I'm saying the whole picture all of a sudden got darker.
It don't look dark to me.
No, it happened suddenly. You probably didn't notice it. Like it was lighter and then it got dark. My whole picture got dark.
Somebody in the chat said Marvin Sapp asked to lock the doors. We will lock the doors, and until you
right.
Go. Lock the doors.
Angela Porter said you actually. I wonder if it was my light. Was it? Let's see. Does that make a difference?
Oh, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, it fills in one side of your face and gives you more light on both sides.
Yeah.
So you know,
that's me trying to be artistic. You know, just kind of putting a mood forth, not just
regular
lighting.
If you move over slightly away from the plant, moving the other the other way. No. I'm trying to see if lean into the light. Find the light.
Carol Ann. Find the light, Carol Ann. Jackie, you are glowing.
Lock the doors.
Somebody said, Miss Shawnee said that Roland Martin defended that mess. He said, lock the doors like you can't leave. He defended them locking the doors.
Locking the doors to make people give.
We just gonna show Roland love and let's leave it at that.
Grace. We're gonna show him grace.
Show him grace once again.
If you gotta lock the doors, that means your parishioners don't really want to give. They're giving out of duress, not faith.
And did they lock it because they weren't giving, or I can't even remember, girl?
They said until I get this offering play, until this building fund is fully funded, you ain't going nowhere.
Listen, we welcome y'all to the menopause show, because we will forget things and try to recollect to the best of our ability. But y'all just gotta roll with us.
The Lord is still working with us, y'all. The Lord is working with us.
Praise him. Joyanne, I know you have a great wind down. Why don't you kick off our wind down situation?
Yeah, so my wind down is the crazy week that I had last week that went from the lowest of the lows to the highest of the highs. So last week, I ran myself into the ground. You know how like you finally hit the point where you realize that your body actually cannot do the things that it used to be able to do in your 20s? Because I used to grind hard. I would get up 5, 6 in the morning. My body wakes up at 7:30 no matter what, but I would get up 6, 7:30 in the morning, go to class, hang out all night, and go to the club, be in the club all night, get up, go to work. Like I could do the things. You know, I could do a 20-hour schedule. It's no problem. But I guess I still think I can do it. So last week, every single morning, I was up at 5 or 6 in the morning every day. There was a Delta Sigma Theta early. They were, the convention. I'm like, I'll be there at the convention, at the plenary, da da da. So I did everything all week. And then I get to the end of the week and I overdid myself. I went to my GYN. I'm doing all the things. And I went to my GYN. I guess this must have been Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then Friday, my GYN cleared me to go ahead and go back on my GLP-1. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm gonna go back to my GLP-1. But what you're not supposed to do is go back on your GLP-1 after not being on your GLP-1 for a lot of weeks. And I didn't really explain all the proper history to the doctor. So I went back on my GLP-1 and it knocked my body into hell. And so on Friday, I started feeling really, really, really sick. Really sick. And by Friday night, I was feeling like really crappy, really sick, really ill. Didn't think I could get up in the morning. I had to cancel all the stuff I was going to do Saturday with the sorority. I had to cancel everything. I couldn't do, I literally, I think the combination of no sleep, stress, overwork, the GLP-1 hitting my body after not being in it for months, and everything I just collapsed completely. Slept all day Saturday, thought everything is done. And I was supposed to go to New York Sunday morning for myself and the two of the kids, the two bookends, the youngest and the oldest, to go with me to the US Open. But somehow I survived my brush with a certain death and exhaustion and horror. And the results are now in the video I'm going to show you now, because Sunday I made it to the US Open, and here's the time that was had. There we are. That's I got the baby and the baby and the oldest. That's the oldest. We had a time. We had a great time at the Open. There's Brandy. Got to meet Brandy. You know, that's Bevy. And so there I am at the US Open. And I ended up on the Jumbotron. And look, I didn't know I was on the Jumbotron. And it's like, you're on the Jumbotron. That was me on the Jumbotron. I was so happy. And then people kept coming up to me being like, you were so joyful. It's like the most joyful Jumbotron moment ever in history. And then, of course, it was the longest game ever, 4 hours and 30 minutes. Venus Williams did not even go on until after midnight. I was trying to hook up with Jackie's sister, Holly. We were texting and then there was no reception. It was just a hot mess. I texted her for like 3 texts and then it just all went to kablooey. We couldn't even text. Yeah. There was no signal, but so I didn't get a chance. That was the one thing I didn't get to do, was to see Miss Holly, but it was a good time. And we got to see a little of Venus. We saw her opening, but we didn't get to see the match. I don't think she won though. This is the lady who used to be the president of the US Open. And that's a coin that they're making for Althea Gibson. So they actually minted a coin for Althea Gibson. This is the lady who's the head of the Althea Gibson Foundation. And that is the actual cup, the real cup they give the winner, the men's cup. Ooh. But they actually give the winner a replica of that cup. So that cup is the real one. They let them hold it for the picture, but they don't give the winner that. That is the real one. And that never leaves the USTA. The winner of the men's and the women's get a replica, which I did not know. They engrave a replica for them. So that's a little piece of history. So that's it. Very quick.
I love that. But as you say all that, I'm hung up on the fact that, you know, because I talked to you when you were sick with the GLP-1 overdose that you had. And I just, you know, I'm not going to say nothing.
The way that I got busted for not being in bed on Sunday, because again, I was like on death's door on Friday. Okay, I was on death's door, and nobody would have suspected I could even get up, let alone go to New York, get on a train, go to New York, and do that. But Jackie's sister saw me on the Jumbotron, texted or called Jackie, so I got told on. That's
because you were real quiet. Because she knows how I am. She was real quiet.
She knew I was sick, so I was like, I ain't gonna tell her I'm going to New York.
And then she was on the train. I called her Saturday, right? Or Sunday. You were on the train. Sunday. And she was like, oh, I can't talk. I'm on the train. I'm in the quiet car. And I just thought, okay, she's just going up to New York for something. She's still resting, taking care of herself. Because I talked to her on Friday when she was 60.
Dying.
Like on death's door.
Dying.
And, you know, and then my sister texted me like at almost midnight and was like, Joanne's on the Jumbotron. I texted Joanne. I was like, how are you at the US Open?
How? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me on the Jumbotron. It's a different blonde woman with no hair.
And don't get me wrong. I'm glad that the babies, your children, get to experience these things. But what they would love more is for you to be around
alive
when they have kids.
Yes.
And to be well.
Yes.
When they get older. But I'm not gonna I have to like fight myself. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. She grown. She grown, Lord. She can do what she want to do. I'm not gonna say nothing. She's not my child. She's a grown ass woman. I'm
Look,
not
and
gonna
look
say
who
no.
else is telling on me. Karen Stooks. That's how you pronounce her name. Karen Stooks, who is also a reader. She was on there Friday night she was in the chat on the other show saying, you look like you need to sleep, because everybody who watched that show Friday knew I was on death's door. Like, I got through that show by hook or by crook, honey. And we had to do a post show live for the members, so we owed them a chat. I was hanging on by a thread. I couldn't even have my security.
So Bonita is saying, shoot, I would have gone too if I had tickets to the US Open. It's hard to. Let me say this about this woman right here. No. She gets tickets to everything all the time. This is not a rare thing. If she missed it this year, she had tickets last year, and she can go next year. And the US Open lasts for almost 2 weeks. You had to go that day. She'll wait till she was better. So I get it. I hear you, but she got tickets to everything all the time.
HR Reed 6 MR said, Jackie gonna find out every time. It's true. I can't get nothing past this lady over here. I can't get shit past Jackie. I try to be sneaking and doing stuff I know I'm not supposed to do. She catch me every time. She'll have a person there, either Holly there, somebody's there. Like, every time somebody's spying some soror, or somebody would text Jackie, hey, isn't this your source, sister, cousin, friend? So I can't do nothing. I can't.
My line sisters, our cousins, family members are like. Somebody I know just take a picture with you.
Yes, it was your line sister that was literally next to you in line. Like, your immediate.
She's my front. My front.
I randomly ran into her at an event, just randomly. So Jackie got people everywhere. Just know that Jackie got people everywhere.
And let me tell you, it was a friend of mine in the business. He's an anchor. And he was saying he met you somewhere and you were not nice. I said, let me tell you something. I said, ain't no way.
That is not true.
Ain't no way. I said, I don't know what was going on. I said, and it was a situation where you were at NABJ. And it was like a situation where it was like a whole bunch of chaos. And then he was like, well, yeah, it was a lot going on. And this was going on. I said, she probably had to, it was the ESPN, not ESPN, the sports party. And you were coming out. And
this year? I didn't go to sports party this year.
It might have been, no, because we were together in Chicago. It was something like that. No, not the ESPN party, the sports party.
Is it the party that Dr. Ian Smith threw?
No. It was Aaron's boyfriend's party.
Oh, that party.
I think that was the one.
Oh.
And I said, I put money on the fact. Girl, we had to have words. I said, let me tell you something. This is one of the, to a fault, the nicest people you will ever bump into anywhere. And I said, if she was having some kind of something, then I said there was something going on. And I was like, ain't no way this girl was not nice. Let me
ask you this question. Who is this guy? What's his name? Did he used to work at NBC?
No.
Because I'm thinking, I was hiding in the back at that party. I can tell you that.
Well, there's that part too. I mean, girl, I had to tell him, I said, listen, sight unseen. I don't even need to be there. I need to know nothing else. I said, no. I don't know who you are.
I tried not to talk to nobody. I was trying to hide. I was so tired by then. We were just waiting for Aaron to get there. And I was hanging out with me, Nicole Hannah-Jones. We were all hanging out, and Jason, all of us, we were hanging out. So I don't know who that is.
Wasn't that the night before you were supposed to catch a 3 a.m. flight?
Yes.
I rest my case. Your Honor.
We stayed late because she was late because she was at the president's reception, which we thought this was. So we went to this thinking it was the president's reception, but we ended up at this, and she didn't get to that until after midnight, and I had to be up at 3 a.m. to get on my flight back to Martha's Vineyard. Correct. So if I didn't stop and take a picture or something, that might be what he meant. Because I know when I was leaving, Jason and them were trying to rush me out the door, so I probably couldn't stop and take every picture, which I normally do.
No, I'm done with him. To me, I got no more words for that. I set him straight, and I was like, you are mistaken.
I try to be nice to everybody. That's like a policy.
You try to be nice to everybody. No, you are nice to everybody to a fault. No, I'm looking at you sideways, being at that party. and then having to catch a flight. I don't know why you don't just make the choice to just go to bed. But you're a grown woman.
I went all the way down there. I'm gonna give you this. I went all the way down there from Martha's Vineyard, which it's hard to get off Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is the worst place to travel in and out of in the whole world. And we made it. We hauled ass down there just to see that sister and support her as the new president of NBJ. And we didn't see her the first day. We didn't see her the second day. This was the only chance we had to just congratulate her in person. So I was like, I'm gonna thug it out until that lady show up at this party. She didn't show up at that party till after midnight. We were like, oh God.
Girl, I would have been running out of there like Cinderella at 9 o'clock. I would have run through. Let me see who I need to see, and then I'm out. I probably wouldn't have gone in the first place.
That's why I love Jackie. Jackie is my health conscience. Like if I could actually we should switch bodies for like 2 weeks.
I keep saying this.
Yeah, I would be so healthy and well rested,
girl,
and emotionally healthy.
Well, people would be saying, I bumped into Joanne Reed and she was not nice. I don't know what the hell. I grabbed like, get out of my way. Move. I'm Joanne Reed, damn it. Move out my way.
Oh my God. Girl, what's your wine down? Oh, by the way, I'm drinking Pellegrino water because I'm still recovering. And using my fan.
Miss B. Rose said, I saw Joy, Jason, and Tiffany out once. They were so nice. I wanted to bother them, but I didn't. Ooh, were y'all at a restaurant? Was it at a restaurant?
Oh, by the way, this is my U.S. Open cup. This is the bounty you get when you're in the U.S. Open. So I'm drinking in my U.S. Open cup. It says Grey Goose on it, but that's not what's in the bottle. That's not what's in here. It's just Pellegrino water. Just evidence-wise, it's just this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to drink it.
I went to the U.S. Open when I worked in New York. I used to go and like cover the chefs because they have this VIP chef thing. Like it's a lot of great things going on at the U.S. Open. It really, if you ever get the opportunity to go, it is a great experience. But girl, the beverages that they had in the American Express Lounge, they had like these frozen drinks, like a frosé in those cups right there.
Yeah.
I have so many of those cups because my sister's a big tennis fanatic.
You can see,
plays tennis. She plays tennis here in Atlanta. Like she's like really big into it. So to go to the Open, she goes all the time. It is a great thing.
By the way, they had this year, their drink of the thing was a melon thing. It was a melon, really delicious drink. It had vodka and it had little melon balls because they looked like little tennis balls.
It's so cute.
Very cute.
Yeah.
I had a great time. That's my wine down. What's your wine down?
I love that. Well, my wine down is my official announcement, which I have not made. I said it on the editorial board meeting, but I didn't say it here. I am officially a visiting professor at FAMU. So this is my first semester. And I'm teaching news writing and reporting. And I am the new advisor for Journey Magazine, which is the campus magazine. And I'm doing some other things. I'll be at homecoming because I'm on a committee for homecoming. I'm doing so many things. But yes, you must now call me Professor Reed. Professor Reed. That's the only thing. So thank you to any rattlers out there. Hello. I'm an official rattler now. Even though I went to university. They got me. I'm going to so many things. They have me getting gear. They got me putting up my strikes. That like they have taught me how to be a rattler.
I love it.
I'll be all over campus and doing so many things, but I'm so happy to be a part of FAMU's journalism program. It is an outstanding program, and the things that these kids have access to, and the way that the alums support this school, it is amazing. Everybody's saying congratulations, Professor.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I love it, Professor.
So that's it. So I'm so excited. So I've been.
Well, these kids are very lucky because I can tell you, I've sat in on a class with Professor Reed, which was really fun. And you really see, and also Jackie works so closely with our intern. She is the person that trains our interns, works with them, has sent interns to me for the other podcast. And when I tell you, this sister is the most incredible, thorough, resourced, professional, prepared journalist I know. And these kids are so lucky. I'm serious. And not even just because you're my soul sister, cousin, friend. I really mean it. Because having observed you in the field, actually working in this business, You truly are one of the greatest journalists of our generation. And so I am so happy for these kids that they're going to be able to learn from the best. Because Jackie don't play. Even with there's a fun podcast, but we can't be on here with no disinformation, no facts not aligned. Jackie don't play that. Even, I mean, and it's always been that way. And I will say this, as we're climbing to our 100,000, we did this podcast for years just for ourselves, just for fun. We did it just because we enjoyed it. We were both at NBC and 30 Rock, and we just loved being together. And we were each other's break from our other job. And we weren't thinking about it as a business or like, or numbers. We didn't think about it. This is the first year we're like settling down and being like, we got to take this seriously. But Jackie has been the glue that has held Read This, Read That together from the very beginning. So Miss Professor Reed, congratulations, sorry, sister, cousin, friend. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
and
thank
these
you.
kids are so lucky. I hope FAMU understand what they got. They better appreciate it.
They do.
Block them.
I have to say, they have treated me so kindly. I mean, really, they have been so lovely with me. You all may know I did a master class up there earlier this year, or down there, I should say, and Joanne was a part of that. And it was just so great. And you know, that turned into this. So I'm very happy. I'm very
awesome.
happy because I've been wanting to. I've been working with kids. Our producer Lauren was one of my babies back in the day when she was at Clark Atlanta University, and now she's working with us. But you know, I've followed her career. We've been in touch over the years. But yeah, I've been working with interns, collegiate interns for years.
Has an intern program. It's going in the book. This sister has had an intern program for over a decade or more, like really working with young people. So she gives back. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I'm excited about it. I'm excited.
And so wait, at graduation, you get to have the you're going to get the special tassel thing. Like when you're there at the next.
So. Like I'm telling you, even though I've worked with kids and I've been a guest professor before at Clark Atlanta University and just in I've worked with young people forever. This is my first time as a full-time professor. So I'm really learning so many things as I go. But like I said, FAMU is great in welcoming you in and making sure that any questions that I have, anything that I need, there is somebody there to help me out and guide me, from the dean of the department, you know, to the director, to the assistant director. Like so many people are just the assistant dean, I should say. So many people have been amazing. And that's, you know, we ended up getting our new logo that you all will soon see from a student.
From a Rattler. Absolutely. Who's brilliant. Brilliant.
So we're really excited. I'm excited about going to homecoming, girl. And I'm going to so many homecomings this year. I would say I'm taking you to one day to a HBCU homecoming, but it's too much. I can't. It'd be too much. You can't do it. That time has passed. That window is closed for you.
The window's well. I might be. We'll talk about it later. But I might be. There's a couple that I might be going to, but only because it's part of our. We're doing like a tour. But I'll get into that another time. We ain't gonna go into that right now because I ain't gonna get caught right here by I'm gonna go catch myself. But I have to say this. One of the things I would love for FAMU to get for you, Professor Reed, that would actually make this perfect. A driver. Because if your ass keep backing up on that damn roadway, Jackie Reed, I'm gonna call the police on you.
Girl, these are HBCUs. Why do you think they got a driver? Where do you, girl,
get
listen, we are in this for the love of the cheering. Ain't nobody get no driver.
Ain't nobody get a driver. But just don't back up on the road. Don't back up on the road. That's all I'm asking.
Listen, wait a minute.
The students need you.
You're doing a tour?
I didn't say that. Who told you
Yes,
that?
you did.
You did not hear me say. Y'all, she tripping. Y'all keep going. What you drinking?
You said
I didn't say nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Who are you? Have I seen you?
I don't know you. You said you were doing a tour. What tour are you doing that has to do with HBCUs and homecomings?
I have no idea. No comment. As a journalist, I say no comment. Dorothy said we gonna sponsor you a driver. They said this ain't Harvard, Joy, says Christy Blackman. You're right, Christy. And by the way, Harvard has the money and wouldn't give you a driver either. How about that? That's why they have so much money.
I mean, listen, the money has to go to the kids, girl. We can't
put the money to the kids. Just drive slowly and just make sure you know what exit you're leaving. I plead the fifth, says Chuck Diesel. I plead the fifth. 1, 2,
I'm
3,
drinking my
4,
cycling
6.
frog, if anybody is wondering. My favorite flavor, which is wild cherry.
Yes.
So good. So good. You know, if I'm drinking this, It's been a crazy week on a Tuesday.
He's trying to get a little bit of that little. Ooh, Bonita Pajarita said my ears heard too. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Bonita. You tripping. You tripping. I plead
We
the
heard
fifth.
what we heard. We heard what we heard. But okay, that's all right. I ain't even got to get the information from you, as you said. I'll get back to you on that.
She got spies, including my own daughter.
Before the end of this show, I'm gonna find out what it is. Or she grown, Lord. She grown. She's not my responsibility. She gonna live as long as she gonna live. Just let me speak first at the funeral. Let me speak first at the funeral. Anyway, I just want to say Karen Stooks said you busted. Exactly. Jan Wigg said Jackie got spies. Caramel Candy said Professor Reed is not only a professor, she is also an inspector. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's true. That's facts. That's facts. Well, let's move on to some shit you
Okay,
need to
let's
know,
move on.
ma'am.
But I want to say something because, you know, we are both proud members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I saw this little soror exchange going on in the chat earlier where people were like, hey, soror, y'all shout out if you're a soror of ours. In the chat.
Karen Stooks is a soror.
Yeah, a lot of them.
We got
is Momo D our soror?
Wait a minute. I think Momo D might be too.
Somebody said Inspector Gadget.
She's Inspector Gadget. She is Inspector Gadget. That's facts. That is facts. Oh wait, Virtuous.
Ursula, you can order it. You can order it from the company and they'll ship it to you.
They ship it even though it's got CBD in it?
THC?
Inspur 49197 is a soror. So is Hans Harry one.
Karen Stooks, Christy
Karen
Blackman, Denise Patterson.
All right, I forgot Christy Blackman is too. And I think Christy Blackman might also be a Lemon Legend.
Shamir, Karen Stooks, Benita. Okay, sorors. Hello. Y'all know I'm doing hosting a film fest for National Arts and Letter Committee on October the 1st. I'll let you guys know.
Oh, so okay, so you're doing a whole film festival. You trying to talk about me? You hosted a whole film festival. You doing too much. Busted.
I don't think so.
Busted.
I don't think so.
MZ Long 8114 also said Karen Stooks. There we go. All right, y'all. So okay, double time. Everybody's telling.
Everybody's telling.
What's some shit you need to know on Christy Blackman, also a reader? I know because I recognize you, Christy, from the other chat. So yes, indeed.
Oh, she said they won't ship. Okay.
I don't think so because of what's in it. So there's certain alcohols you can't ship.
Too bad.
So you can't ship certain places. That's the problem. Yeah.
Dreamweaver. Oh, okay. I heard that from Camille. Camille was like, move on.
Move on. Camille said, move on. We love it.
So let's get to Ish You Need to Know. And let's start with Bakari Sellers. Joyanne, I'll let you. I think we do have a clip, Camille, to play of what he said, but maybe you can introduce.
Let me set it up. So we know Bakari Sellers is a member of the wonderful Native Land Pod with our good friend Angela Rye and also Andrew Gillum. And they were having a conversation about Angie Nixon, who is the Democrat who is running for U.S. Senate in Florida. And he said some rather relatively, controversial things, if we can say. All right, and here it is.
It's going to have a blunt message for Democrats. We won't be wasting money in Florida now. We were going to be spending tons of money on a Senate seat that we were not going to win in Vindeman, instead of spending money in North Carolina and Ohio and maybe even Iowa, Senate seats we can win. And now you're going to see that money not go to Florida. It's going to go to the places that are necessary, that we have a fighting chance.
So people are not happy about that.
They mad at him.
I did reach out to our good friend Angela to find out if there's going to be a follow-up on that on the pod, and she says there better be. So I think you'll see. So stay tuned to Native Land Pod. But look, Bakari is a long-time political operative, very experienced, obviously, second-generation politician. I think he was the youngest state rep or something like that from South Carolina. So he knows politics. But I disagree with him on this one. I think number one, it was not on tone for where the people are. I think for a lot of traditional Democrats like Bakari, this rise in DSA style leftist candidates is unnerving, and they're not adjusting themselves to it. They're still old school, and they want these moderate candidates, especially in the South, and they think that's the only thing that can win. Obviously, she can win because she already did. She beat 16-1 spending against her, which the mainstream party poured into Alexander Vindman's case. Now, race. Alex Vindman is a nice guy, good guy, Ukrainian American. He used to work in the Trump administration, but left because he objected to their national security bullshit in the first term. And then he switched parties and became a Democrat. And the Democrats always think that's the way to win, get a most moderate Republican-y person possible and run them in the South. That is not the way it works anymore. This sister has momentum. She's Andrew Gillum team. There's something happening in Florida around her. And also she's a Black woman, and Black women are sick of this shit. Black women want support from our people and our party when we run for office.
Yeah.
So I think he was just wrong. And Florida, it may not be winnable, but maybe Ohio isn't either. Maybe Texas, maybe North Carolina, maybe none of them are winnable, but put the money in and build down ballot energy. Win some local races, even if you don't win that top race. And she just might win, baby. She could win if you pay enough money and do enough work.
Yeah.
Love her.
I mean, look at, to me, the Democrat, I've said it enough on this show. I just could not be more disappointed in the Democratic Party and just how they continue to do the same old shit that they've been doing for years. And it's the same old cookie cutter program. They continue to bring a water gun to a dirty bomb fight, right? Because the Republicans just are MAGA is just doing everything they can and moving the goalpost and doing everything that they can to win, every crooked thing that they can to win, winning on messaging every time. And the Democrats want to just play by the same playbook, right?
Yeah,
And not
yeah.
even really try to change something. I mean, this woman represents the energy that's needed, a new energy that's needed. We saw it in Mamdani, right? We're seeing this energy. And look, he won mayor of New York City. Like, it is possible. And I don't want to say that they're the exact same candidate or same people, but it's just a new blood that's needed in the Democratic Party. That's what he represents. That's what she represents. We are going to lose in 2028. And if they don't get, and we're going to lose in the midterms, if the Democrats do not get their heads out of their asses. I mean, Donald Trump is all but handing this election to us. Every day they're doing something that the Democrats, in my opinion, could use to really engage and motivate people, aside from trying to be middle of the road. I mean, Donald Trump is the extreme, and it doesn't have to be all anti-Trump. It could be gas prices. It could be the recalls of all this food. It could be him, just sleeping on the job and just being a crazy person with Lake Ontario and just all the things that he's doing. I just don't understand why the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries included, just cannot get their shit together.
It's money. And the thing about the Democrats is they're paid. Most of their money comes from APAC crypto and, Bitcoin people and all these Wall Street people. Like, they get money from the same data center people. Like, they're getting money from rich people who don't want change. And so their messaging is accordingly. And they all want the most moderate, won't change anything, won't disrupt things, won't make too much change, not too extreme. That's what they always want, especially in the South. They just assume all voters are old church ladies who only want to vote for a moderate. But what they don't understand is, and this is the rule of politics I live by, anyone can win if enough people vote for them. That's the facts. And even in Florida, which I am very skeptical always of Florida, anyone can win if enough people vote for them and if they work hard enough and actually run a campaign. If she runs a ground campaign and energizes enough non-voters to get into the system who don't vote right now and who haven't been motivated in that poor state since Obama, or Gillum really is the last time they were motivated. If she can focus, and by the way, he should really come out and scorch Laura Loomer for what she said about that woman, calling her a dog and a ghetto bitch. Hopefully the next thing Bakari Seller says is F that woman, that white woman who went after, who's got the ear of the White House, Laura Loomer.
But will he do it, right? Will he do it? It's like Democrats
should.
always want to throw away what they think they can't win. Oh, Florida's a red state. We don't need to put money down there. But they
So
were
is
willing to
Ohio.
do it if the other candidate win.
So
They
is
did the
Texas.
same thing in Georgia. And look what happened. When Biden won in 2020, it was because Georgia went purple,
Blue.
right?
And everybody didn't understand. And by the way, Texas is just as red as Florida. Ohio is just as red as Florida. Iowa is just as red as Florida. And all of those states have had a statewide elected Democrat in our lifetime. So in our adult lifetime. So all of these states are winnable if you know what you're doing. And if you just write it up. Mississippi, there's a Scott Collum. They're not giving him any money. You know, in Kentucky, our brother's running there. They're not giving him any money. They just don't believe in themselves anymore because they're like, everyone who's running, they don't like them because they're too left. And they're like, well, they can't win. Give me moderates. It makes no sense. But, 90 million people didn't vote for Kamala, didn't vote at all in the 2024 presidential at all. 90 million people didn't vote that were eligible.
Well,
so anyway, moving on.
Let's move on because we've got a guest coming up at 4:00 and let's talk about LaMonica McIver. I know you wanted to do a quick mention on her and her trial.
So
and
she is
a very pregnant LaMonica.
She's like 7.5 months pregnant. She or maybe 8 months pregnant, and yet the federal government is attempting to put this sister in prison for 17 years for doing oversight at a private prison in Newark, New Jersey. She showed up there with Bonnie Watson Coleman, who was a senior elder, plus 70-year-old congresswoman, and a fellow congressman, a white Latino congressman, and the three of them were trying to do oversight, and they were standing there as the local and federal authorities attempted to arrest Newark Mayor Ross Baraka after drawing him onto the prison side of the fence, and then arrested him briefly, tried to charge him with trespassing, even though he was invited onto the property. And a shoving match began when federal officials began shoving Bonnie Watson Coleman, who again is a senior citizen, and LaMonica tried to shield her and got shoved herself, and she's being charged with assaulting a federal officer. A federal judge just recently ruled that she can be tried for this, which is crazy. She's supposed to be immune under the protection of being a federal elected official. She's not getting that protection. A Black woman is potentially going to be made a political prisoner, and her child separated from the newborn child separated from their mama. That's what she's facing. And she can't raise money because she's an elected official. She's not allowed to create a legal defense fund. She's not allowed. She's very limited in how she can raise money. So people, y'all need to figure out how you can give to this sister and pray for her, because if she goes to prison, her baby, and she has another child who's like about 8 or 9, her children will be without their mom.
Seems like this is something Ben Crump should do for free.
Yeah.
I mean, it just screams, he's out there helping so many people. Seems like this is something that he should actually say, I'll do this pro bono.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd love to see him do that.
Let's see him do that. ACLU, LDF, everybody help LaMonica.
Everybody should be doing it for free. Okay. Yep, let us move on to some hot topics. And we are going to start with an announcement from the camp of Gladys Knight. I think the press release came from her. But I would argue, and I'd love to be challenged on this, that she didn't even know this announcement was going out. And it was that she is going to pull back on concert performances, which to me, she needs to stop performing altogether. I am not a doctor, but based on what I've seen, she does not seem like she is in her right mind. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to diagnose her, but she does not seem like it doesn't seem like people in her camp are doing the best to take care of her. This is, I think, the latest video, one of the videos where, she's just been, you see, they're kind of leading her, but she's not really singing. Just kind of on stage. And here's Smokey Robinson, because we were going to talk about just, is there a point that entertainers should stop performing? I say they can perform. I believe they should. And this is Rod Stewart,
Mhm.
performing. I don't know if he's in his 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't know if we had Barry Manilow too,
Oh,
but yeah, he's being
Lord
helped
help.
off the
Oh,
stage in
Lord.
his tight jeans.
Lord.
But I mean, my thing is, I do believe that Gladys Knight should stop performing. I don't know if you guys could tell from that video, but if you've seen some of the video, she does not seem like this is a choice that she's making. Some people have alleged, and again, I'm speculating, I'm not in touch with her or her people, that that there are people around her that want her to keep performing because she's making money. But I think that needs to stop. I feel my heart is breaking because I love Gladys Knight. And to me, if you've got, if you've got the body, if you're able and you're mentally well enough to say, I want to keep performing, like if you want to sit in a stool and just perform, then have at it. But when you are not mentally well enough to make the decision to be there or not, that's where I draw the line. But I know it's a
Yeah.
bigger issue. We were debating about this with our team, and yesterday on the editorial call, we were talking about it forever.
Yeah.
But I know, what are your thoughts on this, Joyanne?
I mean, so there's a statement out from her husband who's denying other family members' statement. Some of her family members have said she has dementia. So there's some members of her family who's saying she has dementia. Her husband is denying that. He's also denying that she's being forced to perform. That raises red flags for me in multiple ways, because if if you're the daughter or a loved one, dementia when you see it. I have family members that have dementia, and it when you see it. So if someone's raising a dementia red flag, that's a giant red flag. And the husband saying she wants to. Yeah, I didn't drop a tin can. Yes, I dropped my can for my seltzer water. So sorry about that. That was the sound. That was the sound for those of you listening on an audio platform. That was the sound. I'm suspicious of it. And the debate we were having was whether or not someone of that age can really make the choice at that point to keep performing because they want to. And I think if you want, like if Patti LaBelle said she's going to go on tour, who gonna check her, boo? She's in her full facilities, and I've seen her perform recently, and she's a bad girl and still doing her thing. But you can tell that she not only wants to do it, but can do it. And Jackie was making the point that it's clear that Gladys cannot make the choice, right? We can't diagnose her. We do not know, but it's a red flag for me. I was saying in our editorial board meeting that it feels to me like maybe her family members or someone around her, maybe her managers, feel like she needs the money or that they need the money, and that someone around her is financially benefiting from keeping her out there, and that's what's driving it. That it's being driven by the need to keep bringing money into, because a lot of Black performers don't have the money a lot of white performers do, and they're not as rich as some of the white performers. So I am worried, though journalistically I cannot say this is happening, but what would worry me for an elder, if this was my mom, what would worry me is that people around her were keeping her on stage for a financial reason when she's not healthy enough to be out there. So the question is, and I think Jackie raises the right question, is this something she wants? And even if she wants it, I had a family member I was talking about in the editorial meeting who wanted to drive and go on her Avon route when she was 90 and had dementia, and they had to literally hide her keys to stop her. They had to literally she would be mad as hell when they took her keys, but they literally had to hide her keys because she would literally be like El Chapo and leave and go on her Avon route if they didn't, if they let her. So they had to intervene for her help, for her own good. So maybe at a certain point, these performers, and also I just have to be honest, at a certain point, it looks sad to me to see Rod Stewart toddling off the stage. And I don't know who wants to pay the money for that. To see these people who look like they should be resting by a beach somewhere chilling, why are they still performing at that age? I think I would never want to be. I would at that age, I'm gonna be sitting on a beach, girl. I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, but you have to be mindful of the fact that this is these people's profession. And when you're in entertainment, there's no retirement. There's no 65, I'm retiring, getting a golden watch.
There's no pension, right?
But they have enough money, a lot of them, where they don't need that. There's just no cutoff. You think about Barbara Walters, Cher's got plenty of money. Barbara Walters got plenty of money. Dolly Parton right? She was
But
getting
she
ready.
was still going to perform. She was ill.
She was in her 80s, right? She had to
Mhm.
cancel her performance because she was ill, but she was in her right mind. She had plenty of money. So it was really about her wanting to work. I mean, Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, you know, some years back did Grace and Frankie on Netflix. And it was about, I like seeing older people portrayed in
Still
characters
living.
because,
Yeah.
yeah. And if this is what they want to do and they're able to do, I mean, Robert Redford worked well into his,
All the way. Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as you can do it and you're in your right mind and you're not being forced to do it,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
you're not harming yourself.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. Like Lionel Richie was recently hospitalized, and Camille was saying, she put him on the thing, and I was like, take him off because he's 77. And just because he's taken ill doesn't mean, maybe he has some, COVID or something, maybe he has pneumonia, something temporary. But he is part of American Idol. We know he's in his right mind, right? He's 77. I just went to see Patty Austin in concert. She's 75. She was amazing. It was an amazing show. I was so happy that I went. The history that she shared, her voice is still amazing. It was like, these people want to do this. Now, whether or not, I don't think Lionel Richie needs the money either. Lionel Richie.
He got plenty of money.
Songs for Kenny Rogers and all kinds.
Yeah.
Like, he's a writer, songwriter. In addition, he's got plenty of money, so he doesn't have to do this. And I don't think anybody is forcing him to do it. But I feel like Gladys Knight,
Mm-hmm.
like
we just don't.
I would not buy her tickets. I wouldn't
either, because it's elder abuse. I mean, you were calling it, I think it is at a certain point, but I think it is elder abuse. And also, I do think it's ego, because we see it in politics and in the past and in the pulpit. People don't want to ever let that spotlight go. People get addicted to the spotlight. And even though they know their ass is too old to be doing it, it happens in politics all the time. People 99 years old and still in the Senate. People
Mitch
130.
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell dead. We don't even know if
Those
he's alive.
Supreme Court justices.
Chuck Grassley is like 99 and he will not let it go. He keep running for re-election. Nancy Pelosi, we love Nancy and her little clap, but that lady is still in Congress. Why? Go home to your family, but they won't. And you see, we all know pastors who done it. They don't want to come off that pulpit. That thing it's like an addiction. I mean, Donald Trump shouldn't be running for office. He old too. He 80. These people are, and he looks sick. His ankles swole, and joking about running in 2028. Are you insane? Will you even be alive in 2028? What are you doing? So I think there is an addiction to fame and the attention. People love fame. People love. Look, I'm out here in wigs and disguises trying to go to the movies. These people don't want to be in a disguise. They want to be recognized. They want to be famous. They want to be stopped. They want to forever and ever and ever and ever have people asking for photos. So I think it's an addiction. And I feel I wonder if even in the case of somebody like Gladys, is there part of her that's like, I still want to be out? I don't know.
No, there is. Even if there's a part of her, if she has mental health issues, you can't trust those choices. When someone has dementia or Alzheimer's or any kind of thing like that, even though they say they want to do this, she could say, I want to go out naked on stage.
But you know what's so messed up though?
Caretakers have to step in for her.
And her husband is her manager. And so the reality,
which is another problem.
Which is crazy to me. And his statement was very red flaggy to me, denying the dementia that I think one of her children has said she has, and saying that no one is forcing her to be out there and that this is what she wants. Like, dude, you sound like you want her out on a pole, like you putting her on a pole, and she is too old for the pole.
But see, I think Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, all these women that know her professionally, like, somebody needs to say something and stand up. I would call for, an investigation. Like, I would file criminal charges, or like, I think she needs to be checked on and evaluated.
And by the way, this is one of the reasons that it's a little dicey to have like a family member manage
as a manager, especially a husband. I would say a husband more than anything.
Because his financial,
ask Mary J. Blige.
Right, because his financial security is tied to her being on stage. Because remember, artists make most of their money on stage, not through selling records. The majority of the way artists earn money is performing live, that's how they earn money, because their record deals are usually so shitty that they get very little off the publishing, that the producer and the record label gets all that money. So they don't get a lot of money unless they tour. So touring is literally how they make money. So if the husband's livelihood, if his own bank account is tied to her touring, it may explain why that lady with dementia is on stage, with maybe potential dementia.
Right. And when you have dementia, I just want to be clear, you know, it's hard to discern what you want and, you know, what you really want, like when you're in your right mind, when you're expressing what you want. And people around you that are caretaking, you may say, you know, I want to shave my head. They
Right.
have to make a decision as your caretaker,
Right, to say
not to let you do things that are harmful for you. Her
Yes,
getting on that
agree.
stage is harmful. I don't care
To her
if she wants to do it.
reputation.
But I
Yeah.
do want to say one more thing, because, you know, we were talking about that desire to be in the limelight for a lot of older people. And we've all heard this, you know, as you age, like these people have been doing this all their lives, right?
Yeah.
And when you slow down, when you get older, you age faster.
Yeah.
Right. Your body slows down, your mind. So it is important to stay active. And what else do they know? Right.
Yeah. Can I just say, Jackie, a little bit of breaking news? This came from the chat. But let me go ahead and just say that this is just reporting now. This is a claim from her son. It is not all confirmable, but allegedly, according to the chat and also what I'm seeing online, and again, this is not to me from sources that made it confirmable, because it's a page 6 and that kind of people, that her son Shanga Hankerson has filed a complaint with Human Services, claiming his mother shows signs of cognitive decline or dementia, and that her husband, William McDowell, has been pushing her to tour to keep the money flowing. The son allegedly stated that he's been locked out or blocked from private visits or communications with his mom. And William McDowell has publicly, and we read this last night, Jackie, when we were sending around our articles and things, he's denied that there's any elder abuse, and stated that Knight simply wants to sing, though he acknowledged that she has good days and bad days, and noted that she would undergo evaluations.
So get this. So Shanga, her son, made claims of her husband accusing him of mental and financial abuse back in 2025.
Ooh.
Back in
red flags. And by the way, so on Thursday, the Motown legend, this is last week, Thursday, on August 28th, she released a statement, and this statement was on Instagram. So this, again, I do not like it when people in the media use the term that someone made an announcement or released a statement when there's no evidence that they wrote it. Okay,
that's
this
what
is the
I
same
said
thing they did
about
with
her.
Mitch
I
McConnell.
said they're talking to say she put out a statement
They're trying to say
about
it, and that's
that.
right.
Mm-mm,
Exactly.
You don't know that. That's like that
You
Mitch
don't know
McConnell mess.
It's like the Mitch McConnell mess, but once again, mainstream media doing what they do. And this is the quote from a statement someone put out on her Instagram. After much soul searching, I've decided that I will be easing into fewer performances while focusing on transitioning into the next stage of my career and life moving forward. She told her over 540,000 followers, I'll be spending more time on projects.
We talked about, Joanne, we talked about that off the top. We said that she.
But wait. But this is the line that I think is crazy. I'll be spending more time on projects with my husband and visiting with my grandbabies. I'm looking forward to the new era. Just wanted to throw that out there. The husband probably wrote the statement.
I don't think that she, my heart breaks. I love Gladys Knight, but this, it needs to stop. I want somebody to investigate her husband.
Why did Jen Pollock say Moscow Mitch isn't? What did he say? Oh, I just missed it. It just went by so fast. Oh, he's on eternity leave.
Oh, girl, Sue B5421. Sue B5421 said, Jackie, please leave the profanity at home when you go to FAMU, please. Girl, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that shit.
Boom, shagalag.
Girl.
I love it. Yeah, no, college students cuss more than anybody else.
Why would I be on campus like just swearing up a storm? But this is not that. What are you talking about?
When I was finally in college with no parents, that's when I started cussing. I didn't even cuss when I was a kid. I didn't cuss till I got to college. Now I can't stop. F-bomb is like my main word.
They act
The
like
daughter
I was,
walking
like
by
I'm gonna
saying,
be on
yup.
campus, like I'm here, bitches. Where the fuck y'all at? Where my kids at? Where
Where
my
all my
students
scamming
at?
ass niggas at? Where my scamming ass niggas at? Where my scamming ass niggas at? This your professor. I'm here to teach you some shit. Get over here and learn, bitches. That's if I start teaching, I'm gonna start all my classes like that. Where all my scamming ass niggas at?
Like I got a potty mouth.
Spin that shit. Spin that shit. You got your scholarships.
Spin.
Spin that shit.
Let me tell y'all one
Spin that
motherfucking
shit.
thing. What you gonna do up in this motherfucking class? You ain't gonna be motherfucking. You ain't bring your motherfucking book.
I ain't one of your motherfucking friends, okay? I'm your professor, bitch. You think you gonna get an A on that shit? Hey, I know you wrote that shit with ChatGPT, bitch. You didn't write that shit. You don't even know shit. You wrote that paper in 2 days. That paper, that's a term paper. That take a term to write, bitch.
My
Take a term and write it. ChatGPT ass, bitch. Mom, I think I'm scared of Professor Reed. I think she's crazy. I think
got
she's
a potty
scary.
mouth.
I'm
That's a
afraid
potty
of her.
mouth. That'll be me. I'll be coming in on campus like this, coming backwards. Music banging. Fuck the police. Fuck the police.
I'm here, bitches. I backed all the way up from Atlanta, bitches. I didn't go forward not 1 second. I was going backwards the whole motherfucking way. Backed up on the highway. I'm ready to roll. Backed up on the fucking highway. I said, all the people trying to come down the street facing me on the highway. That's your problem. It sounds like a you problem, bitch.
All right, let's turn to chapter 1 now. Let's open up your books.
You ready to learn, bitches?
You gonna learn today.
You gonna learn today, bitches. You want to learn about the media? Hey, I'm going to teach you some shit. You want to be a reporter? Report on this, bitch. Mom, I don't think I want to pay my tuition this semester. I'm scared. She's mean.
Like, I want to be in her class.
She's mean. Bring Freak Nick back. Freak Nick is back in play, bitch. You don't know how I grew up. I grew up in the dirty 90s, baby. Why y'all skirt so long, bitches? Yeah, I'm gonna come over here in hot pants tomorrow because I'm a hot mama.
Somebody, T. Kelly said Jackie rolled into class playing Move. Bitch, get out the way.
Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out.
I don't know what would give you the idea that I'm gonna roll up on campus cussing in class. Like, what are you talking about?
She gonna say 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Jackie doggy dog over here, and she's at the door.
It's like saying, Jackie, make sure you don't cook food while you're in class. Okay.
She gonna be
all right. Jackie, don't make phone calls while you're teaching. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we have a guest for you guys.
Who doesn't want to come now? The guest is backstage like, what the fuck? I didn't sign up for this.
Are they gonna cuss me out during this whole interview?
Oh, you want
that
to
Jackie
read that, bitch? Come on.
That Jackie is a potty mouth.
Don't walk. You're walking over.
It's like Jackie and Joyanne, don't cuss out your guest. Okay, we won't. Okay, because you said so. That's a good, you know what? That's a good idea.
Consider it. Think about it.
But we do have a great guest. So I want to bring, well, there she is.
Oh, she came anyway. Oh my God.
She did not run, but I don't think she would. You guys probably know her from Black Cake, the New York Times bestselling novel that became a hit Hulu series. Yeah. But there's more to Charmaine Wilkerson's story, a Caribbean American writer, journalist, and communications professional. Charmaine has worked everywhere from California to the United Nations. And now she is back with our September pick for the Read This, Read That book club. And that is Good Dirt. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Charmaine Wilkerson. Hello, how are you?
Oh, thank you so much for welcoming me. I don't have any potty mouth to offer. I'm not that interesting. I'm not that interesting. I'm not that funny. But I wrote a book.
You said, but I wrote a book.
But I wrote a book.
We can talk about
you are
it.
in the right place.
We
Thank
only
you.
act like that with the chat because the chat be out of control. They wildin'.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
just that's how it's them. It's them. It's not us.
Well, we do want to say that the book Good Dirt is on sale in our shop right now. And our Read This, Read That shop. Charmaine, tell us a little bit about this novel and what we can expect on this journey.
Well, first of all, thanks again for welcoming me. It really is great to join you after watching your programs and listening to your podcast, Good Dirt. The phrase good dirt comes up a few times in the book. The first time it comes up, it's talking about soil in the garden. The next time it's referring to clay. You know, when you can smell the clay in the dirt. And so that ended up being the title. But on the surface, the story is really about a 29-year-old African-American woman from a well-off family. She was born and raised on the Connecticut coast. Her family's mostly from Massachusetts. And she's living a life that many people would envy, only something terrible happens when she's 10 years old. And she finds herself growing up with that tragedy attached to her identity. You know, she's that little girl who survived that terrible tragedy that also claimed her big brother's life. So as she grows up, despite the fact that she and her family are blessed with many of the things that any family would hope for, you know, financial security, education, an extended family, a mirthful and healthy relationship among those who have survived that tragedy, nonetheless, she's struggling. Finally, she meets someone who seems to be very much like her. He comes from a well-off family. He grew up on the Connecticut coast. His family has long-time ties to New England, only she's Black and he's white. So that's interesting. At any rate, it's a happy moment for her. It's a great moment for her, but things go wrong. The romance falls apart, and she reaches the point where, after having been watched for years as the survivor of that terrible family tragedy, and then having been seen in the public eye getting ready for this seemingly fabled wedding and having it fall apart, she just can't take it anymore. She decides that the only way to move forward in her life, the only way to deal with the pain from a long-time tragedy and the very messy, very public falling apart, disintegration of her relationship, is to go away. So she's tried, and she just doesn't feel she can have a future, a life, a healthy sort of mindset without leaving everything she knows. So she runs off to this small village in France where she knows no one except one friend, and instantly, everything feels better. Only, as you can imagine, her past catches up with her, and it's going to force her to take a good look at a very basic question. How does a person manage? How do you move forward in life when you're carrying unspeakable pain, when you're carrying disappointment or bitterness? How do you move forward and live and love and laugh and do good work, be productive in society, take care of others? Some people manage, others don't manage as well. And so the central question for this young woman, Ebby Freeman, is going to be, now what? And she's going to look all the way back at her family's past to try to reclaim her identity, which really has been muddied by that whole idea of that terrible event and then the more recent mess with her romance. Who is she when you take away all of that? How does she reclaim that? And how does she live well while carrying the pain that she keeps trying to hide from?
Well, you know, this sounds fascinating. I cannot wait to start it. And Charmaine, I have to ask you, this is a question from the chat. This is Momo D, one of our editorial board members, asking, and I have the same question. You have a beautiful voice. And do you read the audiobook yourself? Because a lot of us are audiobook and print book girlies. We like to get the print book so we can look, you know, bend near the pages, but we also love the audiobook. Do you read the audiobook?
No, I don't. I've never read an audiobook, but you know, like you, Joanne, I come from a background. Well, I lived in Jamaica for a number of years and that affected my voice, although I'm from New York. But I worked in broadcasting as a journalist. And in fact, that past influenced, it sort of brought Ebby Freeman, the protagonist, to me, which I can explain in another moment. But I've never read an audiobook. I think it would be to maybe read, I don't know, acknowledgements or an author's note. I think that the work of reading an entire book and embodying the characters and conveying all of that is an amazing feat. And the person who did the audiobook for Good Dirt is someone who's much closer to Ebby Freeman as a person. She's from Connecticut, and she comes from a family that's similar to Ebby's. Her name is January Lavoie. January Lavoie. She's in the Hall of Fame.
I've heard of her.
Book narrators,
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard
And
of
she
her.
also won a Gracie Award, which is for women in media, for narrating Good Dirt. So
Wow.
I'm delighted, but it was all her work.
I've heard of her. She's amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is amazing. Okay, so
So thank you anyway.
You have a great voice.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they are in love with your voice. It is very soothing.
Thank you.
You're getting
Thank
so many
you.
comments about
You should
about
read
your
like
voice.
nighttime stories. I would literally
Yeah.
like have like you should read like nighttime stories for adults. And I'll just be like,
just like, you know, the sort of go to sleep type stories. The
yes,
sweet
the
ones.
calm app.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
This is a pretty heavy story, and yet I think it's also a story that ultimately is joyful and full of love. And there's that whole historical component in which we go back and look at the past of this family, involving an heirloom and a stoneware jar that was made by an enslaved ancestor. And while I love being able to talk about it, I think the narrator did a great job of picking up all of those characters.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about where this story came from. Why did you decide to write this story and bring Ebby to life? Where did this come from?
So I mentioned having been a television journalist early on in my professional life. I remember being very young after graduate school and almost immediately walking into people's homes at the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I'm old enough that back then we didn't have the social media in the way that we do now. So if you ended up on the TV news, or if you were on the front page of the newspaper or on the radio news, that was a pretty big deal. And so I would walk into someone's home, have a devastating conversation, an intimate conversation, and I'd go home wondering, you know, how will they manage? How will they manage now that this very personal pain is news to everyone else? You know, how do you go through life trying to deal with a difficult situation when other people think they know what you're going through? You know, they can't help it. It's natural. We see people, we hear their stories, we're interested, we care, but we don't really know. And so I used to think about that. And one day, very recently, just a few years ago, I was thinking that again. I was thinking, how do they manage? Because now I'm older, and what I know is people do. People do somehow manage to live fulfilling and meaningful and even joyful lives, even as they are carrying unspeakable loss or pain. And we know that for different people, the answers are different. It could be faith. It could be good luck, as Ebby has. You know, Ebby really comes from a family with a great deal of structural and social good fortune. So that doesn't hurt. But she, in fact, is struggling, and so is her father, and she's developed a kind of obsession with a family heirloom. But going back to your question, the idea came to me. I was thinking, how will they manage? Because something had come up on the news, and suddenly I heard a sound. And the sound that I heard was something falling off of a table and crashing. And I knew it was an antique vase at the time. It becomes a jar in the story. And then I heard gunshots. And this is how Ebby came to me. Ebby came to me as the little girl who survived all of that. And I knew right away she was a little girl, African-American, living on the Connecticut coast. And immediately I started writing, but then I started asking myself, what are they doing on the Connecticut coast? Why are they the only Black family in their neighborhood, which is a very well-off neighborhood in a specific town in Connecticut? Where's the rest of their family? They're in Massachusetts. Why are they there? And what is it that fell off of the table? What kind of antique vase fell off of the table? They're well off enough that they could own anything. And that was the first moment in which I made a conscious decision to direct that story that was coming to me like a film in my head. My question was, what can that object tell me about this family? And I was doing research into African-American families in New England, in Massachusetts, in Connecticut. I was doing research into family heirlooms. And somehow I began to run into stories and articles on the enslaved potters who mass-produced ceramics in the American South. And that inspired this invented jar, which has its own story that, yes, is invented. It has a couple of features that I've never seen in the historical record, but it's inspired specifically by one potter who was known to have signed his pottery and written poetry on his pottery, known as Dave the Potter, and later as David Drake. And he signed the pottery at a time when people who were enslaved weren't supposed to be reading or writing. And you weren't supposed to learn to read and write. You were not supposed to teach someone to read and write. But we know that people, of course, did learn and people did read and write even when they were enslaved. This particular pottery, this set of pottery, is proof that someone who was working while enslaved, while restricted in every other way, somehow, you know, depending on the relationship or the situation he had, managed to write on the pottery. Others signed pottery for their enslavers who had them working in potteries. So that's a digression, but that historical information inspired the historical part of Good Dirt. When Ebby is caught up in a terrible crime, a family tragedy in which strangers come into their home, there's a tussle and a jar falls off the table. And after the research and after writing, that jar becomes a piece of stoneware that was produced by an enslaved ancestor in this family. So then the question comes, how did the jar end up in Massachusetts and then Connecticut from South Carolina, which is where they were making a very special kind of stoneware because they also had good dirt. They had very special dirt and an interesting kind of clay that allowed them, with know-how, to create this kind of stoneware. So the fictional story takes us through the story of that jar, and it begins to rebuild an idea of the identity of this family and of this young woman, because she's lost her way. And this symbol of their past and also their present, which was destroyed on the same day that her brother was killed, has sort of left them out there feeling it almost as though they've lost their identity, along with having lost someone they loved very much.
Wow, that is incredible. First of all, your voice is so soothing. People in the chat are just loving you so much. I have to ask you, as somebody who's had success both in writing, you know, you're a writer writ large. When you write, do you already start thinking of the film, or the you know, do you already start to televise, or, you know, do you think in both terms that this book is going to be another thing, or do you just write the book as the book?
Oh, no. You know, bear in mind, I've only ever written 2 books. So I wrote some short fiction before. I'm a late bloomer, and I consider myself to be a bit of a newbie, a sort of an adolescent at a mature age. And so I wrote Black Cake and wrote Good Dirt, and now I'm working on a 3rd book. Both books came to me in the same way. They did come to me in a filmic way in my head, because that's the way my brain works. So in Black Cake, I heard these 2 girls swimming in the water, and eventually that became a story of the girls from the past. In Good Dirt, I heard the jar, which at the time was a vase, fall off a table. I heard something happening, and that led me to write a story. But I didn't know where it was going, and no, I wasn't thinking about film, not even with Good Dirt. I was fortunate that people who work with film and who love telling video stories were interested in the writing and wanted to do something with it. And I'm so glad, because I love film. I worked in television in the past, but I was writing, and I love writing prose, and I love telling stories that you see on the page or that you might hear.
Love that.
Yeah. So wait, so we have to know, we love knowing, particularly for folks who write fiction, what's your writing process and how long did it take you to really pour this out on the pages? Was it a couple of years? I think you mentioned something, you said a few years. And what's the process? Are you at a library? Are you in a park? Do you get a hotel room in Paris? You know, like how do you write?
Yeah. Over the past 7 or so years, I could say yes to all of those questions. But with Black Cake, I did not have an agent or a publisher. So I was just writing based on an idea that I had. And I felt it was strong, and I wanted to look for an agent. And then the pandemic struck, and I was in Europe. And I thought, oh, well, no, I'm not going to find anyone to publish this now. But, you know, we have the magic of email and the internet, and I just tried and found someone. What this means is by the time that I found an agent and a publisher, I'd already written and rewritten and revised what I had. Of course, that didn't stop me from having to revise it later and edit it later, but I'd worked on it for a while. With Good Dirt, I had an idea. I'd already written part of it, but I had the good fortune, but also the nerve-wracking situation of having other people aware of what I was writing. And I'd sort of disappear and do my thing, and then I'd come back to them and show them what I had. So the processes were different. And with my third book, it's similar. I had an idea, I wrote for a while. I like to write on my own. And then I'll show you something if I feel I have enough, and then I'll disappear again. So that's what I did. I'm a morning writer. I love the early morning. I don't always know what I'm writing unless I'm editing or adding to a specific manuscript. I just write, and sometimes it's a piece of fiction. It might turn into an essay. Most of what I've written that is fiction has never seen the light of day, and I haven't even tried to share it. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to be able to build on something like a book and share that with readers. But I think it's important for people who write and who love to write. Is this the case with you, Joyanne? That I think it's important to just write.
Yeah.
and remember that being published is one thing, and it's something I wanted, but writing is another. And it's a process of self-discovery and learning and creativity that has its own weight and its own integrity. And that's the first thing.
No, I agree. As a writer myself, writing is its own joy, and you have to do it because it's coming to you and you want to give it to yourself first, right? And then you figure out if you want to share it with people. I don't know how you can be a morning writer though. Listen, I'm a night writer. I will stay up till 1, 2 in the morning, but that morning thing is torture.
So what I wonder, if I may ask you, is, you know, having come from a journalistic background and having worked then in other forms of communication, I was so accustomed to having control. Yeah. I knew everything, what deadline, how much time I had, how much money if I was going to do a video. Everything had to be controlled. Everything had to be planned. And then you write. But with fiction, I just go. It's a completely different process. And yet it feels truer to me. And I feel that I can express more about the real world in which I live. What I wonder is with you, do you just sort of wander on the page in the same way, or do you plan everything beforehand?
I do. I plan nothing. I have severe ADHD. And it's funny because I started out as a fiction writer in, junior high. I used to write poetry. And then I went from writing poetry to writing short stories. And then one year I sat down and wrote a whole novel that I was arrogant enough to think someone was going to publish. And I sent it to a publisher without even thinking, oh, I shouldn't, that's dumb. And they sent it back like, adorable. So I started out as a fiction writer. So I come to writing as a fiction writer, not as a nonfiction writer. And then I just ended up in journalism. That was not my original plan. And eventually I want to go back to fiction because that's actually what I actually am in real life. So I generally start out with a blank page, complete confusion. And until something literally pops into my head, I can't write anything. Like I go from blank page to like 80 pages. I literally, once it comes in my head, and sometimes I think of what I want to write in total, it pops into my head at 1 a.m, and then I have to get up and write it right then. And then I can go back to sleep. I literally just write in creative spurts, and then deadlines are very hard for me. So I need a strict editor who literally hounds me. Jackie knows the story that when I was writing Medgar and Merle, I had to go to Paris, move into an Airbnb for 2 weeks, play jazz music from the 40s every morning. And to get myself I had nothing on the page when I went there. I came back with 7 chapters. So
that's amazing.
I'm a spree writer.
That's wonderful. Well,
and I would think that the style is a bit different from the type, when you're sitting down to write fiction, I would think. And then because when you're writing something, particularly that's based in politics or history, like you did with the Merle and Medgar book, Joyanne, I know that the research is a big part of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's constant, because everything you're writing is based on fact.
Well, that's the problem.
Exactly. It's based in fact and rooted in research, but it drives your fiction, right?
That's right.
It goes to your mind from there.
That's
so it's 2 different styles. But Joyanne, I didn't know you had written a novel. Like, where is it?
I mean, it's sitting in my office.
I've never heard you say that.
I have to send, and I was like, one day, I've written a couple, I've written a few, and I always throw them away because I'm like, I don't like it, I don't think it's good, I'm very critical. But I'm fascinating with your process, Charm. I've just been listening to it and like writing it out in my head, because the discipline of writing, to me, a novel is that it isn't based on anything but what you think and what you've made up in your own mind. And it's like more pressure in a way, right? I mean, to write Medgar and Merle, I did 2.5 years of research and interviews, and then had all of this data. And then I had to figure out, how do I take this thing that's all factual and all the research and spending, and then put that into my own thing? That's hard. But with a novel, it's literally, you're starting with nothing but your own mind. How do you go from that to a novel?
Well, I tend to be very scene oriented, character oriented. And so I'll write in scenes, I'll write sensory details. But, with Good Dirt, I actually started writing Good Dirt before Black Cake was published. It came to me, and then I had to set it aside. And I remember I ordered a couple of books because I needed to read some books. So I read. And then fast forward a couple of years, I had to go back and reread my notes and things that were underlined. The research does matter, but without a doubt, I think to some extent we're let off the hook if it's a work of the imagination, as you say, Jackie, because you want to be true to the idea. And sometimes I'll go back in editing and I'll spend all day looking for one word or one detail. And then I'll see something and think, oh, wait a second. Okay, that actually changes what I wrote, because you do want to respect the historical context, especially if what you're trying to do with fiction is share something of history that hasn't always been shared, because we know what history is. There are people who take issue with the word history. I don't mind. It's the word I grew up with. What I do take issue with is the idea that there's only one history. So, even a character in Good Dirt says history is a collective phenomenon, and it's made of stories. Well, it's also made of literature. It's also made of fiction. So there is a sense of responsibility that the fiction should respect a certain feeling of plausibility, right? But you can write magical realism, you can write science fiction, you can write fantasy and throw in a couple of dragons, if when you're doing the research, you're somehow respecting the idea of the world, the human condition. But I think what you were doing, yes, I agree with Jackie, Joyanne. I think that's daunting, because some people call my work historical fiction because it sheds light on aspects of history, but it is not a historical novel. A historical novel is another kettle of fish. Choose your metaphor. Yes, so I agree with Jackie there. It's daunting, and kudos to you, and let's see it.
I'm going to send it to you so you can read it, and then, because I refuse to show it to people. I literally refuse to show it to people. I'm very
I could do the audiobook.
You could.
No, I'm joking. No.
Done.
Would you ever do someone else's audiobook, Charmaine? Like, not from your book, but anyone else's?
I think I'm so intimidated by the work that other people have done with audiobooks. I'll tell you what kind of audiobook I could do.
What?
One in which the interpretation is fairly dry, but not in a negative sense, or fairly limited. So there's always that narrator's voice. I think the kinds of books in which, again, you have someone like January Lavoie who jumps into all of these characters, and she does the father, and I think, how does she do that?
Right.
That's a different kind of interpretation. So I think it depends on the book. I think it depends on the book.
Think about it. I've done all my audiobooks. I always do my audiobooks, and I love doing it because it actually, by the way, it's my last sneaky way of getting one more edit in. I promise you, I have sent pages back to my editor being like, ooh, I want to change something because I was in the audiobook and I read it and I didn't like it. And they're like, I hate you, but okay. But I think you should do it. You have such a beautiful voice that I feel like you could do, I don't know, maybe you should do a master class on novel writing and read that. Like, because your voice is hypnotic. Like you're hypnotizing me.
Thank you. No, if it were me, I'd do children's books or, you know, what Jackie said, something for bedtime.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
We're going to recruit you to do audio where you've got to do some kind of audio something, sis, because your voice is gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Charmaine, we thank you so much for your time. You guys go to our store, get good dirt. Charmaine is going to join us in the coming weeks for our book club meeting. And that is for those of you who are not a part of the Book Babes. That is when we get into all the dirt in the book.
All the good dirt.
All the dirt. We're able to talk about the book and we get to spoil everything and talk about it. It's behind closed doors. It's a private meeting. So you can only be a member of our book club to be a part of that. But we look forward to seeing you in about a month's time, Charmaine, so we can really, after we've all read the book and gone through it, and we'll have questions for you. It'll be fun.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much. And hello to everyone on the call. I'll see you soon. Before long.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
So amazing. She could be the new Siri. Wouldn't that be great?
Shouldn't her
voice be Siri?
But first of all, if that was like the one that was like directing me how to get places, please turn right. Please turn left.
Yeah.
Please go straight. I'm like, okay.
So polite, right? Her voice is so polite and pleasant.
It's beautiful. And it's so erudite and sophisticated and rich. Like she has to do something with that voice. Like, how do we get her to do? I mean, her voice is magical.
It is.
It's magical.
It is. Oh, girl. I mean, I might
ask her to read to narrate my next one. I'll step aside if she wants. Live when my next book comes out, baby. I think I might ask her. Can you please read it in the audiobook, please?
Girl, no, that won't work. Not history and a soothing voice, girl. Well,
and then Donald Trump destroyed the United States and turned it into hell.
No,
it's gone now.
No, that I assure you is a bad idea.
Beautiful timbre. Well, if I ever get my novel out and break it out and share it with the world, I'll ask her to do that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you should dust those off and maybe revisit them, send them to somebody, get some notes. I mean, why not?
I am so interested in moving back into fiction because that's where I literally started out as a poetry writer. Yeah. And so that's why my writing is like the way it is, because I actually write as a nonfiction person, but I'm writing fiction. So people have told me that Medgar Murley reads like a novel, but that's why, because that's actually what I actually am. I did not intend to be a journalist. I'm not like Jackie is a real journalist who intended to be one. I fell into it through being from documentary. So I'm an accidental journalist who ended up in this profession, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, yes. I think we might have time to go back to hot topics. We wanted to, of course, pause and have Charmaine join us here. And we thank her so much. And just another reminder, not only can you go to our store, our shop, and buy the book, you can also become a book babe by going to our YouTube channel and clicking the join button and signing up for the Book Babe membership. It's a very special place. It's a very magical
and then you get to hear that voice for a full hour. Yes. In a month, you get to literally and get her to share the spoilers with you. Like the Book Babes is actually very special because a lot of people we don't like to talk about things we're reading because you don't want to spoil anything, right? And you know, Jackie loves spoilers. I don't. But this is where we can come together because there's no spoiler worries. You can talk about everything and you can get the we gave you a little behind the scenes. We're going to get into the real behind the scenes, the real insider stuff. The good dirt is in the book club. That's where you want to be. Yeah. The book babes, that's where we get into it. We get into it.
We get into it. That's for sure.
Yes.
Okay. So we wanted to go back to our topics, and
I know somebody said don't talk about Auntie Maxine. Who Auntie Maxine? You mean Maxine Waters?
Who said something about Maxine?
Yeah, what about you got to tell us what you're talking about, man. Is this Mandijo? Mandijo? Tell us what you mean.
What are you talking about? What you talking
about? Bonita Pajarita's a book babe and loves that.
Loves that.
Loves that. But yes, so what other topics we got, girlfriend? I think we've already talked about the elders who are performing on stage. We need to go get Gladys. We're gonna send somebody go get Gladys. I think this should be a hashtag getgladys.com. Get her and pick her up and take her home.
I'm glad her son is taking action. But like I said, he said something, 2025 and nothing happened. I call on other people in the industry to speak up and don't buy her ticket.
Yeah, don't support it because
don't support it.
How about the
that
fake
looked like
guy?
a sold out show? Like people, what'd you say there, Camille?
How about the fake guy?
Oh yeah, Camille was like, move on. Yes, let's talk about, is it Daejon Love, the brother,
fake NFL,
posed as an NFL player. Yes, a member of the San Francisco 49ers. He said he was, and a wealthy investor. He targeted women through dating apps and social media. Here he is training with on the beach all by himself. There's not another soul in sight. I mean, I know there are athletes who do train, but look at him. I mean, so this guy, with the help, and he's being faced federal charges of fraud and some other things. This is his mugshot. Targeting women through dating apps and social media with his accomplice Taylor Shaw, I think is her name.
He looked like the polygamist. Why he looked like the guy in the polygamist?
That's what Camille was saying.
And he defrauded,
get this though, he defrauded at least 26 women out of about $1.3 million.
First of all, he said to them, oh no, did I say I was with the San Francisco 49ers? I meant the 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers is the team that I am with, not the 49ers. So you just misheard me when I was speaking through my mouth. My verbiage went over your head. See, I said 49ers, so that's on you. That's what I was saying, Jill.
Your Honor, let me just represent myself because I too am an attorney. And let me just say,
I'm also an attorney at law. Yes. I went to not Harvard Law. I went to Harvard Law. See, there's a Harvard Law, and that's where I got my LLB, which is my long lazy bitch degree. And so what happened is my accent sometimes confuses the referenda of my contricularium. And so when I said
not the referendum,
the referendum of my contricularity, so the centrality of my understanding is that I said 49ers. She heard 49ers. That's why I be traded by myself.
Girl,
not everybody could be
Leslie Young said he looks like Megamind. Girl. Wait, put it back up, Camille. Put him back up.
Somebody's supposed to be an NFL player and they asking you for money. Red flag. I mean, they shouldn't need money from you. And why did I think it was Bonita Pajarita who said mustard? And it said I keyed. If somebody is supposed to be an NFL player, why are they asking you for money or investments or anything else? That should be your red flag, ladies. Don't send a rich man money. That's like when Trump is like, I need you to buy this merch. He's supposedly a billionaire. Why is he asking you for money?
Yeah.
Come on, people. Don't be stupid.
Apparently, because he had this person, working with him, saying that this is my financial advisor, that according to what the feds are saying, the two of them were working together. And so they see this rich man, and I think this is why he put this persona out there, I think. Is because he wanted for women to send him money to invest on their behalf.
Right.
And so that's what apparently was happening, and how he got so much money, because they were sending him money that they're thinking he's going to turn over for them to turn into more money.
Get rid. But here's the other thing. If you're supposedly dating an NFL player, he doesn't need you to invest for you to be rich. He could just marry you and make you rich, right? He could just be in a relationship with you and send you money, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, like other rich men do. So if in any way he wants you to send money for any reason, if he's that rich, he should just pay for everything. If he's rich and you're not. So it's like you're at least act like a competent gold digger. You know what I mean? Let him pay for shit. Why would a rich man ever need you to ever give? And also, if he's rich, and this is his finance guy that's supposed to do investments for him, then you should want to verify his bank accounts. You should say, okay, show me your returns. He should be able to show you evidence of these returns.
Girl, now you know, women can be blinded by love, and they don't ask the questions that they should. That's why little Ray living with them in their house, not paying a dime towards not a utility,
borrowing their car,
from food, nothing, and driving your car, and all those things. Everybody says, come on, say it with me. There, but by the grace of God, Come
doing
on
his
now.
laundry.
Y'all want to act like just because they got scammed by somebody pretending to be a football player that they're now. Come on, because some of y'all now.
By the way, though,
y'all done got some scamming people.
Put a picture now. First
up in your bed.
First of all, look like a broke down Puffy Combs.
Not me either, Christy.
Because if you come to me looking like that, I have to actually see inside your bank account first, because you're not coming to me. That's your look. If you're rich, you could play. But
my thing is, because don't act like women will not date like women won't date someone who is not considered attractive. I'm not gonna name names, but we know plenty of men out there who, if not for their bank account, would not get a date. Right?
Puffy himself. Puffy.
Well, I don't think Puffy is unattractive.
Yes, he is. Oh my God. For God's sakes. Horrible.
No.
Come on now.
I don't think he's horrible looking. He may not be your cup of tea, but I would not call him unattractive.
I would.
I wouldn't say that. He's not. You know, with all
he wasn't getting that baby oil on them ladies because he was handsome.
He might act ugly.
Yeah, but he's ugly. What are we talking about? You think Puffy's not? Come on now.
I wouldn't call him ugly. I wouldn't call him unattractive. Now he's not my cup of tea, but I wouldn't say he's ugly. I wouldn't say that about him.
I don't. We different taste levels.
Yes.
Different.
Yes.
But bottom line, that dude
with this man, I mean, if you just listen to because women have been posting video of him talking to them, right? Trying to say, well, why are you questioning that? Why would you think that? He said at one point that his family, y'all, what was the clothing designer that he said his family has stock in? I don't know if it wasn't Gucci, but it was
Gucci.
No, it wasn't Gucci.
Gucci.
I can't remember what it was. What was it? Was it Gucci?
It was Gucci. And then he said he owns something on Saks Fifth Avenue, but he didn't know it was a store.
And he said, my family is invested in Gucci.
He said they have major stock in Gucci. They're saying it's Gucci.
Gucchee. See, they just don't be knowing what I'm saying. They think I'm saying Gucci with the CCI, but I said Guchee, Gucci. They just don't be listening to me. My prevarications over the resourcification of their proclivities. You see, they don't understand.
Somebody said Hetty Bauer. They called him Hetty Bauer.
Hetty Bauer. They said here. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, okay." They didn't hear that he had a football head. A football shaped head is what he was trying to say.
Oh my God. Roxy said, I never gave a man access to my condo, car, or keys, or to the honey until I was ready. Yeah, but a lot of women are not able. They just don't have that discernment, and they just want to kind of trust that everything he says has to be true, because why would he lie?
Why would he lie? And look,
Why would
but
he
like you
lie?
said, but for the rest, we've all done stupid things. I one
Yeah.
time had a rental car, and I let this brother I was talking to borrow it, but he was fine, like ridiculously fine. And then I had to fight him to get my car back. You know.
Fight? What you mean?
Oh yeah,
You
he kept the car for an extra day, and I was like, I'm
no
getting charged for
fight.
this.
You don't have to like put your
No,
fist
not
up.
physically fight him, but I had to tell him off and go to his house and be like, give me my fucking car. And I had to go drape him up and get the car back. But yeah, because he was trying to keep the car. He was trying to hang out with the car for extra day. And I'm like, but this dude was really fine.
You said you had to drug him to get the
I had to
car?
drapes him up. You have to go and drapes him and tell him,
Like
give
you
me
drugging people
my bum,
at
my
Harvard?
Give me blood clot. Give me blood clot. Give me ras clot. I had to go do that. Like drapes. Give him the drapes up and pop and lock him. Pop him and lock him.
What she say?
Give me blood clot. Give me keys.
Listen, I mean, and now you got the Trump feds coming after you, and you're a black man.
Baby, and
I
you
wonder
going
if he's a
away.
Republican.
He better
I
be.
wonder
He
if
better
he's
turn
MAGA.
Republican. Turn Republican and pay Trump $1 million and get out. Trump don't mind scammers. You just have to make sure you pay him. He need to cut Trump in on some of that loot, pay Trump like all these rappers did, and be free.
Girl, what's crazy about this guy too is, at the same time this story was coming down, or a little bit before, there was that woman pretending to be a student at Duke.
Yes.
Black woman, like, and influencing. I'm on my way to class. I'm doing this. I'm
Yes.
doing that. And the school, I don't know how it came before Duke, but they were like, she does not
Never
attend
been here.
She
Remember,
never
she even said she
applied.
graduated. She claimed that she graduated, and people were like, we don't remember seeing her at graduation. We don't remember seeing her in class. People started being like, we've never heard of her. She went all the way through and pretended she was a student at Duke. There was another guy in Florida who was a teenager who pretended to be a whole doctor, had a clinic and everything. Another young brother had a whole clinic, and people would come into the clinic. Man, he was not near a doctor. He was a teenager. People be scamming, man, and getting away with it. This is brilliant. I wish they would put this brilliance to better use.
So this sister's name is Angel Murdoch, and she did this for 2 years. And yes, she said she graduated. Oh my God, why? That's
They
interesting.
said they're calling it the Cheyenne Bryant effect. Called it the Cheyenne Bryant effect. But people do it. And you know what the thing is? In a world where there's not a lot of financial opportunity or jobs or career opportunities anymore, people are putting their brilliance to use doing scams. Social media makes it easier. The way you can fake things, fake videos, fake photos. It's like the technology is meeting the need and the brilliance, I have to be honest, of these people who are able to pull off these incredible scams. I almost have to say, these are some of the most genius people in the world. Just like back in the day, the drug dealers were always the smartest Negroes in the neighborhood. These brothers knew how to run complex businesses, but they were just applying their brilliance to crime because there just wasn't opportunity. There's a story that people forget. So when people all saw Sinners, the thing about Sinners is that's elucidating of history to the point of our author. The people who ran Liquor Run, the black people who were in the mafia, and even the Italians and others, a lot of these were World War I veterans who came back with all these skills and having been overseas and had all of these man skills and couldn't get work. And they ended up running for liquor companies, running for the mob and running for the mafia and being scammers and being numbers runners. If you go back and look at all these people were World War I veterans. They came back and they didn't have anything else to do. So they applied their genius and their ambition to crime because that's what was available. If you go back and you think about some of these drug men and you listen to them talk, these are brilliant people.
Yeah. A lot of criminals are not. Everybody thinks all criminals are dumb. Not all of them are.
Not
Some
all
of
of
them are
them.
very brilliant, and just lack of opportunity or an opportunity or something mental going on with them, they lead into a life of crime. But with this, I don't know how people look themselves in the mirror. Like, I don't know how you live with yourself scamming people out of their life savings or just anything. Like, I mean, but people do it so easily. it is just heartbreaking. The people who are out here scamming senior citizens.
Oh, people.
You know what I mean?
But
And
on a
taking homes from people, you know,
mhm.
taking deeds from senior citizens,
Deeds.
and just people stealing deeds. And these aren't, you know, these are people who consider themselves real estate people, or, you know, they're business people. And, you know, in a lot of these neighborhoods with, you know, where Black people were historically, like a lot of areas here in Atlanta, and especially in places like Harlem, you know, a lot of people lost their homes, you know, were scammed out of their homes.
Yeah, they're doing it in Brooklyn too. They're
Yeah,
taking Brooklyn that way.
yeah.
And by the way, we live in a scammer nation. The president of the United States is a
Ooh,
scammer. Most of his
yeah, he
businesses are
is.
scams. He had scam charities. He can't even do charities in New
Mhm.
York no more. He had a scam charity off of 9/11, claiming they were giving all this money to 9/11 victims. That was a scam. He's the scammer in chief. He's the biggest scammer in the world. He gave another scammer, Elon Musk, all our social security data, as they're saying in the chat. That South African scammer, he scammed people into thinking he invented Teslas. Had all these people saying he invented Teslas. 2 other white men made Teslas. He just invested in it and boxed out the 2 white men that made it seem like he was some sort of genius programmer. Ain't programmed the goddamn thing. He's a scammer. All of these people are scammers. Facebook, them two, Facebook, the people who made Facebook, them and the Winklevoss twins and that dude who has Facebook, they stole that from Harvard. We had a freshman Facebook. They just digitized it, called it Facebook, and made it sound like they invented something new. That ain't new. You just copied the freshman Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. All these people are scammers. So these Black scammers are minor compared to the people who run this country.
I
It's
know
all
that's
scams.
right.
This is a scammer nation. This scammer USA. So it's like they're just following. We Black people learn scamming from the best. The slave owners, the financial scammers on Wall Street. They are junior scammers compared to the people who run this country. These
That's
people who
so
run the
true.
country, they are the major,
The
big
scammers
time
of them all.
A-list scammers.
But
Yes,
like
much
I
bigger.
always say, we can't do what they do. So
We just get caught.
Mr. Love getting ready to find out they get caught too, girl, and then they get sent to some
They get
private
off.
prison,
Yeah,
deluxe, you know, prison that with
yeah.
all the luxuries that come with that, or they're just pardoned, or
Well,
you know, they don't
look
do
at
the
Jeffrey.
time.
Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein went from being a math teacher to investing all the money for the guy who owned Victoria's Secret based on no skills as an investor. It was a
Mhm.
whole ass scam that he was running. So in order to run girls, in order to be a pimp to children, scammer, like everyone's a
Mhm.
scammer. And so you look at half these politicians are scammers. They
Bernie
raising
Bernie
money. They don't even
what is it,
spend it on the
Madoff? What's his name? Bernie
Bernie
Madoff?
Madoff.
Yeah, Madoff.
These are
I
Black people
mean,
they running baby scams compared to these
but
white
Black
folks out
people
here.
should not do what white people do, right? You cut, because if you get caught, chances are you're gonna get caught. We can't do what they do. Let them do their thing.
The
Don't be
Tate
out here.
brothers, two
Yeah,
Black little scammers, little fake Black boys.
out of control. So
Mhm.
let's move on to our final story for today, and that is Mayel, girl. Black women are mad at them for this ad that they popped up and then took down quickly. Do we have it, Camille? Where they show the before
They
being
said
weak
weak and
and dumb
dull.
as a full beautiful head of hair,
I know. If I had the
afro,
hair,
and on
girl.
the right side, shiny and strong, is supposed to be when you have this curl pattern and a
That's
certain kind
less
of
Black.
curl. Baby, they took that down, and they did offer an apology, saying that, you know, they apologized for doing something like this. But how is this happening with Black people in the room?
Well, they aren't in the room.
Well, no, they sold the company, right?
The
But
Black woman sold it.
Black woman sold the company, right? But you like, are there y'all have a Black hair care company? You don't have anybody managing
Clearly
that
not.
account?
Remember, post DEI, they've gotten rid of all the Black people. So there's probably nobody Black. It's
Yeah.
owned by a white company now, and they probably have nobody Black in the room where they're making the real decisions. The real decisions are being made by people who think that there's such a thing as a cloud bob. so I mean, you know, the cloud bob people are now in charge of the formerly Black company. There you go. The
Yeah.
company is called Mayel, LLE that used to be Black owned, and it is not no more. It's been bought by a white company, a big corporation, and God bless a sister who sold it and got rich, but they don't know anything about us. It's so crazy that we've been in this country since 1619, and the majority of people don't know a thing about us. They just seem to know nothing about us at all.
Yeah.
And nobody in the room to say this is stupid. And there you go.
So they put out a statement saying, we hear you and we messed up. So they're owning it. And like I said, they took it down, but not before sisters could screen grab it. And it was everywhere. And people were so upset about that. Come on, y'all. Do better.
Do better. Put some Black people. This is why DEI is not a favor to us. It's a favor to you, corporate America. I say it all the time when I give speeches. DEI is not y'all doing us a favor, baby. It's us doing you a favor. Because without our flavor, your naked chicken with no seasoning and no sauce on it, ain't nobody want to eat it. And we're the ones who provide the flavor and also the information, because we actually know culture. And if you don't have us in the room, good luck with your things. Good luck with your things being interesting, cool, or purchasable, or no one wants your shit without us in it. So good luck. You're gonna get like the fun fair Trump did with no Black people. So run that experiment. You're not gonna like the results. You don't run us out the room. We're here to help. We're actually in the room making your life better, making your company stronger. There's been actual studies that show that more diverse companies with diverse leadership are more profitable. They're actually more profitable because they appeal to greater culture. And I hate to break it to y'all at Mayel, but the majority of people 15 years and younger are already majority non-white. So if you want to sell to the future customers who are kids now, they're already majority Black and brown. So go out.
Because people online are talking about throwing away the product now. Like this was the last straw for them and they are done. Black women are upset. So good luck selling your products to Black women, now that this has, because to your point, I can't even say this was a very stupid thing for them to let happen. They can apologize and all of that, but it just speaks to the fact that they clearly do not have the right people. If they don't have Black people, maybe they have a Black person, but it could be like a Clarence Thomas type person that, I don't know about Black hair. I didn't grow up, whatever. So they don't have the right people in there. And now we know it. Yeah.
And
Karen,
by the way,
it was an insult. Absolutely.
It was. And Jackie, think about, you and I both worked in corporate America. Think about the layers and layers and layers of approvals that this had to go to. I very briefly worked at Bird Eye's department store as a copywriter back in Florida. And when myself and my photographer, we were paired with a photo, a guy who did the beautiful layouts, and I did the copy. Can you, when I tell you, and this is for Bird Eyes, which is basically Macy's, the layers of stuff for us to make a catalog. That's all we were making was a catalog. It had to go through, we created our pitch. It had to be approved. Then it had to be approved by someone up higher. Then the photography had to be approved. We had to do illustrations. We had to do this thing went through so many layers. And I'm talking about for a department store catalog. So can you imagine for a national ad, how many layers and you're telling me at no point in this process up the chain did someone look at that ad and say, ooh, that's offensive. So that means you had no Black people there, or at least no Black people who were empowered enough to say anything. Maybe you had a Black intern who was scared to say anything, but you clearly had nobody Black, especially not a Black woman, because they would have looked at that in 2 seconds and said, we can't put that out. So clearly no one up the chain is Black or Black woman. That's just clear. Or a Black man who knows Black women. So it's you've now.
But how do you buy a Black hair care? It's just idiotic. How do you buy a Black hair care company? And you don't, for Black women, and you don't have any Black women in there who have the sense enough to say, let's not do this. Because, and also as a company, you didn't take the time to learn your audience.
Correct.
You didn't even put that work in because, the 1 or 2 Black people that you may have there, they shouldn't have to carry the whole company.
Correct.
Everybody, just like how we talk about, white stylists in makeup rooms, right? They should know how to they train learning how to do Caucasian skin and hair and all those things. And then when it comes to us, in a lot of cases, Joanne and I have been lucky, but we've had some bad experiences.
Very.
You have people who have no idea how to deal with your hair and no idea how to deal with your skin. Everybody working at that company should have had to do a crash course on black
Mhm.
hair, right?
Mhm.
Everybody should know everything. And the fact that they don't is just, they can't. Like you said, it's really disappointing and it is insulting.
The Karma
and
Factor is
so-
saying in the chat that Mael continues to be led by the founders, Monique and Melvin Rodriguez as CEO and COO respectively, and operates as an independent subsidiary of P&G Beauty. I don't know if that's true, but I can tell you that whoever is running the advertising campaigns for them ain't them, clearly, unless they're idiots. You know, which
Because
can't
I was going
imagine.
to say, if they're still running the company, then they have to give the thumbs up to something like
They
this.
have to
You know what I
approve it. It had
mean?
to have gone. Yeah,
I would
and
think.
also, if you're a subsidiary of a big company like P&G Beauty, I promise you, the layers of approval go through P&G. Because if you've ever worked for a company that's owned by a behemoth company, I worked for Ms. Now, which is owned by Comcast, and so we could do some things, but at the end of the day, Comcast is the boss. And so something went up because somebody's paying for those ad campaigns, and I doubt it's them. So if they were
Yeah.
involved in any way in the process, we don't know if they objected. We don't know if they saw it. I don't know if what you're saying, Karma Factor, is true about them still running the company. But if they are, then that's even worse. Actually,
I want to hear from now. I really want to hear from them.
Same.
Knowing this, I did not know that before, but now I want to hear what they have.
we need to
say.
hear what they have to say. We need to hear.
Yeah, because they put. I guess are they
Disrespect.
responsible for the apology that went out? It
Right.
just it didn't even explain how something like that could happen.
But
in a
also
kind of way.
the fact, like the speed with which they took it down and the speed of the backlash. Do you not focus group your ads? Like I've worked for
That's
ad
what I'm
agencies.
saying.
Do you not? Do you not?
I don't like. It's just. I don't
You didn't
get
put
it.
this in front of five people to say, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't you?
Because I'm sure they don't want to lose business, right? They bought the company for a reason. They don't want
Make
to
money.
lose business. Like, how do you not make sure that there are safety nets in place that so you don't deal with this kind of like this is huge.
Remember when
For black hair
Pepsi?
care company?
Remember when Pepsi had one of the Kardashian girls in an ad at which
Kylie, no,
Kylie and
no,
is it Kylie, one of the
Kendall. It was
Jenners,
Kendall,
and she
the
went up to
model.
like a black woman and like had her hold her jacket or something. Out of all the
No,
women.
it was she went up to a person dressed as a police officer at almost like you know, like
a lineup.
Yeah, like a police are in riot gear, like a riot line, and she went up to one of them and handed them a Pepsi.
Oh yeah.
That's what that
yeah.
was. That was Kendall, the one that's the model. Yes. I mean, but to me, this is worse than that, right?
Yes, it is.
That was pretty bad, but this
It was
is
bad.
worse because how do you not know your customer? Right? How do you not know that that's going to be offensive? How do you not know that?
So that was cringe too, because as the chat is pointing out, that was after George Floyd. And so there again, and I remember teaching about this in my class
Right.
where it was like at Syracuse, and this was mostly white kids, and even they were like, there's clearly, and I used it as a moment, as a teaching moment for my mainly white students at the time to say, this is why you have to have diversity. This is why you need inclusion, because if you're in a room full of white people and none of them know that this is bad, you're going to have to then do very expensive pullback on an ad you spent a lot of money for. I'm sure they hired that model. They hired stylists. They spent a lot of money doing an ad that was up for 30 seconds, you know, and they had to pull it down. That was a waste of money. And also, exactly, House of Abundance makes the point. Also, the sister's hair was gorgeous before the product was in it.
That's the point. That's the point. They're insulting women who have natural black hair to say that, you know, you have to do something to your hair to have good hair. You have to do something to your hair for it to be considered beautiful. And if it's in its natural state, even though hers look well moisturized and everything, like that's beautiful. The thing, right? I mean, there's no look that, to me, a state of 4C, whatever, that they could put up there that would work. But this woman's hair looks like it looks like gorgeous. A very healthy head of hair. I've seen natural hair that is not healthy. This looks very healthy, right? So it's just like, how do you not know that this is going to be offensive? I don't get it. I don't get it. But
this is why the anti-DEI movement ultimately will not succeed. Because enough companies are going to get target treatment and lose money and go under that they're eventually going to desperately need us back in the room. So as Latasha Brown always says, they'll be black because they can't make money without us, especially with these young folks. These young folks ain't buying your shit undiverse. So good luck. Run the
But I
experiment.
mean, I hope that's the case, but I
Yep.
don't see them backing down. Like,
Mm,
yeah,
we'll see.
if that were, because how many of us are still going to Target, right? How
I
many of
hope
us are
not
still
me.
going to Walmart? How many of us are still going to Home Depot? How many
Yeah.
of us are still receiving Amazon packages? How many of us, right? So there's no unity beside Target was very targeted by us, right? That was an effort. But if like who's gonna go out there and lead the next effort? And if it's not organized, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it in a way that it'll be impactful. I
Yeah, well,
mean,
we'll see.
you
We'll
know,
see, because Target didn't think it would be impactful either. As many people as still go in there, they've lost $12 billion in market
they
cap.
have, but you
So-
don't see them apologizing.
And they never will, but they never will make money either. So good
Right,
luck.
but
Y'all gonna be a
they've
failed
had,
company.
if you know what I'm saying, at what point are they gonna make a change? You know what I
They're
mean?
not, and
At
it's
what
too late.
point?
By the way, they can't make a change. As Viola Davis said, no apologies will be accepted from Target.
Yeah.
Target is DEONE, done. Or as that football head guy would have said, DUN, done.
Well,
'Cause
one
I'm
of
a Sanford.
my favorite fashionistas just launched, and she's our soror. She just launched her fashion line for the second season in Target, you know, for the fall. And a lot of people are in the comments saying we're not going to buy,
No,
but the fact
not.
that they are doing it again
Yeah,
means that
no.
enough that I get that you're not going to do it. And I
Yeah.
understand that a lot of Black women aren't going to do it. But if she's selling, like they did this for a second time. And I'm not saying, you know, I mean, you do what you want to. All I'm saying is it's enough people still going to Target. I know that
Yeah,
they're
it's
losing
sad.
money, but it's not to the point that they're like, oh, okay, we gotta, you know, open up a store, you know, in every Black
But
neighborhood on Martin Luther
remember,
King Drive.
but you got to also remember, not every woman in Birmingham, in Montgomery, stopped riding the bus either. The Montgomery bus boycott was not total. Only
No,
a
it was only
percentage.
80% of
Exactly.
Black
So
people that did.
that's
20%
right.
were like, I don't want to
Still
do this.
rode the
I
bus.
can't lose my
Correct.
job. I
Correct.
can't, I don't believe in what you're doing. I don't
Correct.
want to make these white
So not
people
everybody
mad.
does all the boycotts.
Yeah. So it wasn't. So I understand that. I just, you know,
It's
I
never gonna
hope
be
you're
100%.
right, but I just don't see the organization that's needed. Not that we're not up to it, because what we did at Target was amazing. But like I said, where are we going? Yeah, I just feel like it needs to be better organized. And I don't know who's going to do that.
Well, with
So
that,
we got
Oh.
one more thing to say.
oh,
We wanted to mention, you know, we have been partnering. One of our advertising partners is Baskin Lather, and there are some accusations about their product, some claims about their products on making the rounds on social media in a significant enough way that we wanted to address the matter.
oh yes.
We've enjoyed working with them, and we are waiting on them. We were hoping we'd get it by the time we did the show to give us some kind of statement, and we've offered them an opportunity to come on the show and do an interview with us and clear everything up, right? Or give some kind of explanation of what's happening. So, you know, we want to always be transparent with you guys. We're also journalists, and just because we're in partnership with someone doesn't mean that we can't report on something that's happening with them. It's our responsibility to do that. And so, as I said, these are accusations and claims, nothing's been proven. But because they're out there and it seems to be growing, we wanted to say something.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we want to always make sure that, look, one of the things that we do is if it's a sponsor, we actually use the products that we promote.
Yeah.
And we won't really promote them unless we've had the chance to try them. And, you know, personally, we've had great experiences with the products, but not everybody apparently has. And so we want to make sure that anything that we're sharing with our wonderful cousin nation is something that is an up and up product that, you know, you can count on for real. So we're going to keep y'all Why is Miss Shawnee saying the mosh bars? No, the mosh bars are dope. We're going to make sure that we keep you guys apprised of what we hear back from the Baskin Lather folks. We hope we hear back from them soon. And yes, they should come on and talk about it, because we always, as Jackie said, want to make sure we're always transparent. So that's there. And the mosh bars are delicious, by the way. They are really good.
And
that's the other show, though.
That girl said, "What? I just bought my first package." We're not saying that it's a bad company. We're not saying you don't need to buy from them. What we're saying is, based on accusations and claims that are out there, we just wanted to address it, and we've asked them for a statement, and hopefully they'll come on and do an interview and ease some concerns that are out there about their products. So
Yes.
do the homework, because it's specific products that people are talking about with mold and things like that. So, Google around, and if you go on the Better Business, I don't know if there's anything on that page that really explains what you can do, what you should be looking for. Just
And
Google
the claims,
around.
I should note, are mostly on social media. So that's why it has to be verified, and from
Yes.
a journalistic standpoint, if somebody posts something on social media, that doesn't mean it's true, but it's going viral from social media. So that's the reason that we want to do our own research. We want to get some more information, more concrete information, and it can't just be a social media post. It has to be legitimate. But we also think they have a right, and they should have an opportunity to respond and address it, which hopefully they will. So there you go.
Yeah, so we'll bring you an update on that as soon as we have one for you.
We will. Yes,
wanted to put
indeed.
that out there. All right, you guys. And with that,
And with that,
oh yes, please be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel. If you're listening from another platform, scooch on over to YouTube. Y'all don't worry, Don's not there yet. He's not there. Y'all don't have to leave. And please subscribe so that you can be part of our community, because we are on the road to 100,000, the road to 100K.
Yes.
Our goal is to reach this by December 31st. Before we ring in the new year, we want to get to 100K. We're glad that you're here, but just in case you are not subscribed to our channel, please do that. And please go out and tell about 1, 2 to 200 of your friends.
Yes, just hit share, and you can get the little link and just send it to all your friends. Put it in your group chats. Let everybody know they should come and join the Cousin Nation. We have a good time over here. We have a time. And so if y'all want to share the fun and share the love with your friends and girlfriends and bring them on over. We got some brothers in here too. Those brothers are invited. Y'all come on. So we want to make sure that the Cousin Nation continues to grow and thrive and flourish. If you have not become a book babe yet, this would be a great time to do it. So you have time to read the book ahead of, we give you like a month to read it, which is good. We give you enough time to read it. And if you're like us, I love to get the audiobook and the regular book, just that way I can go through and dog ear and do my things to it, but I could also listen if I'm, doing dishes and doing stuff. However you want to do it, make sure that you go over to our shop, which is shop.readthisreadthat.com, so you can grab the book in time to read it in time for the Book Babes meeting, our book club meeting. So yes. And also, if you want to become one of our editorial board members and help determine what topics we're going to talk about on this show, that is another membership opportunity for you, so that you can actually decide what we're going to talk about in the first place. Momo D can tell you it's a lot of fun. She's even gotten to be on a camera. And if you want to do that, you have to get in touch with us. We have to have your real email, because we always want to make sure that it's a real person behind the names. So we have to get in touch with you. And once we're able to be in touch, that's how we're choosing people who are very engaged, people who participate, who really participate in those editorial board meetings. We want to give folks an opportunity periodically to pop on and actually be there. All right, is on. Okay, he's on. Amy Diaz says Don is on. So bye. Christine Black is leaving. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Support Jackie Reed at now I'm gonna forget, vegansexycool.com, and
the Jackie Reed Experience.
The Jackie Reed Experience.
And support Joanne over at joannereed.com.
Yeah.
Everything, just one thing. All right, y'all. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.